Miss you too, Daryl. Miss you too, man. We got me back up, brother. Hey, when you guys ever get a chance, I want y'all to listen to the song that we come in on. Ali in the Jungle. It's very, very good song. It's about hours. Ali in the Jungle. And everybody knows what happened when Ali fought. You know, what happened. So make sure you look that song up. Ali in the Jungle. It's a song that we come in on our radio show here in Philly. Ali in the Jungle is very, very, it kind of describes what's going on right now. So watch it. Make sure you listen to that song. Ho, what's up, man?
Yo, what up?
Everything good?
Everything good, man. Everybody upset?
It should be, man. It should be. Make sure y'all listen to this song, man. Ali in the Jungle, by the hours. The song we come in every Wednesday on. Ali in the Jungle.
What up, dog? What up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. The fight has just begun.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey, look, listen, this is WOOM 92.9 FM radio, giving you another edition of 623 Lives Matter show. It's good to see you guys on Facebook. Thank you guys for listening to us on the radio. It's always a pleasure to bring you this show. Like I was telling the people that was watching on Facebook, you guys got to listen to the song that we come in on every Wednesday. It's called Ali in the Jungle. It's a group by the hours. And it's kind of it's a reminder of what's going on right now. Everybody gets knocked down, but how are you going to get up? You know, how are you going to respond to what the IBT and our local officials have just done to us? How are we going to respond to that? Are we just going to lay down and cry about it and complain about it and you know and just get upset? Or are we going to fight? Are we going to vote them out? We was on a call last night that Labor Notices did, and they was talking about what the next steps were and what people were doing. We had seven vice presidents sent a letter in the Hoffa with a lot of signatures and petitions going around the country trying to get Hoffa and the IBT to go back to the table. I know you guys know that yesterday up in Local 89, their local news did a report on some of the members over there at Local 89, and they was telling them, hey, they ready to strike, they ready to walk out. But it's unfortunate that we have our leaders who just fail to fight for the members, man. They just all about themselves and all about, you know, our dues and not about the members. So it was good to see the local news pick that story up. And that's what we're doing here. I reached out to a lot of the local personalities, radio, as well as the news stations. And in fact, tomorrow I have an interview with the labor press. So be on the lookout for that. Everybody wants to find out why is a union disregarding the vote of the membership. You know, we talked about this on Monday. If the members the members voted it down, the master. See, in 2013, it was oh, well, you didn't vote the master down.
Right.
Well, we voted the master down this time, right? So what's the issue? So again, and now this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. This is what I think. It was personal. Like I said on the show on Monday. It was personal and political. We beat them. They spent all this money, and we beat them.
And they gave them a 90-day extension to help them out. That's trying to show to the members.
Right, and we beat them.
If they didn't give them the 90 days, none of them would have passed.
Right, and we beat them. We beat Hoffa and the vote in the U.S. vote here. Beat them, and they ain't like it. So this is that we are getting back at the member. Instead of going with the membership, we delivered. We voted it down in record numbers. Record, because you can't say, well, you guys don't vote. Well, we wanted more people to vote, but this was a record amount of turnout.
Right.
People voted, so they tried and tried to get over on us again, and the members, man, they're upset, they're unhappy. So the question is, what are you gonna do with your aggravation? What are you gonna do about your feeling that you're feeling right now? What are you gonna do about it? Because we can't just sit around and pout and be mad. You gotta get everybody out of office. If this don't wake you up, I don't know what will. I don't know, because once people start taking your voice away from you, what's next? Because Jumbo, you know, like I know, collective bargaining and being in a union, it gives you a voice against the company. But what do you do when it's the people that's supposed to protect you taking your voice? What do you do? Because you can't put this on UPS. You can't put it on. They was willing to go back to the table. They said, we understand. We thought we had a good deal. We'll go back to the table. Our own people said, no, we're not. They're going to take this contract because of the Constitution and all this other kind of stuff. People fought. People died. People cried. People lost all kind of things for the right to vote in this country. And this is what happens. Civil rights and workers' rights are essentially the same. People lost their... Look at what happened to Martin Luther King down there on a sanitation strike back in '68. Union rights tied into civil rights. They was on strike. He got shot the next day. And these guys just take out a vote like that. And that's a shame. And I don't know why people want to still be loyal to these people. Listen, don't let your loyalty confuse you with your responsibility. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Because it happened to us back in 2013. You guys know the story, and we're going to keep telling the story because we want you to know that we lived this, that we experienced this. We was with these guys forever. Loyal. They sold us out. We had to get away from them. And they still selling us out, and people still want to be loyal to him. I don't know why. Our local leaders are in the same boat as the IBT. They're going around telling people, oh man, this contract was this, confusing people and all this other kind of stuff. Part-timers was confused. They didn't know if they was going to get their raise or not, because they were saying that for the full-timers, if you didn't vote yes the first time, they was going to take your raise. But the part-timers thought they was talking about them, you know. And it showed in the vote count. If you look at the vote count, local 623, the national was voted down by 115 votes. But on the local, the supplement side, it passed by only 8 votes, less than 1%. And we all know 2,291 people didn't vote. And that's another issue. But when the people who do vote, their vote should be honored. It should be honored. And couldn't find out, Jumbo, it wouldn't have mattered if we voted the supplement down anyway, because he was going to pass it. So it wouldn't have mattered. It would not have mattered. So listen, the bottom line is we got to get these guys out of office. There's no way around it. If we don't get these guys out of office, then we're going to keep having these conversations. We're going to keep getting upset, and we're going to want to keep blaming the company. Can't keep blaming the company. Yeah, they do their part, but this situation right here has nothing to do with United Parcel Service. UPS conceded. Okay, we got to go back to the table because we cannot afford have our workers go out during this time of year. We can't afford to go out any time, but definitely not this time of year. And look what happened. Your own people. Now, the first thing the teachers are going to tell you, the leaders, well, the Republicans this. We got a Republican in the White House. We got a Republican controlled Supreme Court, all this Republican, but Jumbo. Trump wasn't negotiating the contract. He didn't sell us out. It wasn't Democrats didn't sell us out. It wasn't all these other any other party, the Green Party. It wasn't these guys. It was our own people who swore an oath to protect, preserve, and enhance, and all these other things that we pay for.
Yeah, well, a lot of teams across the country, we're not recognizing what the IBT says. The IBT has to respect our vote. And rumor is that Hoffa is suffering from dementia. Rumor is that he's not running the IBT. It's, his number 2, Todd Thompson, is doing everything. Todd Thompson, he was never a Teamster. So how can you have Todd Thompson running everything, and even like yesterday, the news beat laughing at UPS. The news is saying that UPS contract is in chaos, and Hoffa took a vacation to Singapore for 10 days. I mean, they laughing at us. UPS laughing at us.
Yeah.
So what happened is, I'm still outside. They said, John, what we voting for now? You still out there? I said, look, we voting for 2019 Richard Hooker, Secretary Treasurer. 623 Lives Matter Sleep. Hashtag 623 Lives Matter Sleep. Richard Hooker for Secretary Treasurer, a local 623. Look, everybody beat me up saying, Jump, they ain't gonna vote. Look, we gotta keep fighting. We gotta get them guys out of office. Don't forget, Richard Hooker for Secretary Treasurer, a local 623, hashtag 623 Lives Matter. Local 705 in Chicago saying they going on strike. The day after Thanksgiving, they said they going on strike. They saying that they're not going to honor it. It's going to be tough, but this is what they saying. A lot of people saying they're not going to honor it. You got to respect our vote. We pay your salary.
Right.
It's a sad situation. Everybody saying what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Hoffa says he honored the he's not going to honor the contract. He says it's ratified. Then he turned around and said he's going back to the table. Well, which one is it? Right. Is the contract ratified, or you going back to the table? You know what I mean? It's a sad situation. Right. It's a real sad situation, right? Amazon, November the 1st, $15 an hour. If you work nights, $16 an hour. If you work Saturday and Sunday, $16 an hour. A non-union company paying $2 more than UPS. $13? That's a bad deal. It's a bad deal,
Yeah, me and my wife was at Chick-fil-A earlier this week, and guess how much they starting their people out with?
$15.
$12.
$12.
Yeah, fast food, $12. You know what I mean? And look, and you ain't got work on Sunday at Chick-fil-A. You know they're gonna be off. Yeah. You know what I mean? But hey, listen. And speaking of 623, I got out the bylaw change that we were trying to make, what we will make, and I'm going to go over it. And we're going to be out at the gates, and we want you guys to sign a petition. Now, according to our bylaws, current bylaws, whenever you want to make a change in the bylaws, you have to do it the first meeting of the year. And that first meeting of the year is January of 2019. So, and we need 7 people to sign a petition. But we want to go way, way, way above and beyond 7 people. We want every member to sign this paper, this petition, because you've seen what happened in our local election, and then you've seen how it translated into what happened into our IBT, our master agreement, because they were able to go to the Constitution and use a loophole to get. And want to get in?
Bring a chair.
So I'm going to read what the bylaw is going to say, and we're going to go over it, and we want you guys to make sure you sign it, because this is very, very important. And we took the time, we wanted to address all the questions that you may have. For number one, I knew a lot of people would probably say, well, if you guys get in, you're only going to pick the people that you guys like or voted for you. No, that's not the case. And when we read it, you'll find out why. It'll explain to you how the people we pick and everything like that. So it won't be because you know how these guys in office, the current people, how they pick who they want and people who vote for them and they do this. It's not going to be like that with us. But again, we'll read it right here. This is how it reads. 12 months prior to the expiration of the collective bargaining agreement, the union shall hold a meeting to elect a committee that contains a member from every center. Not the people that we like or the people that voted for us, but a member from every center. Whether you voted for us or not, you're going to have a chance to be on this committee. If no member elects to be nominated, then the shop steward or designated alternate shall be appointed to such committee. The entire committee will meet as needed to conduct any task required for the process of negotiations. These classes include, but not limited to, ratification, reviewing amendments to the agreement, or attending any meeting deemed a necessary part of negotiations. If the committee is required to travel, the most senior member, not the member that we like or don't like, or the member that voted for us or didn't vote for us, the most senior member of the classification will be offered to attend. All lost time wages and travel will be paid by the local. All right. The committee will elect the chairperson, a recording secretary to preside over and record the minutes of the meetings. At said meeting, the committee will review the final draft of the contract and vote on whether it will be put to general membership for a vote. It is understood that the bargaining demands of the local union may be accepted, modified, or rejected by the overall negotiating committee in accordance with such rules and procedures as may be adopted by the area-wide conference wide or national bargaining group. So that means this. We're going to get people, whether you voted for us or not, it's going to be in every center. And we want the most senior person to be available to us to be able to go and sit with us as we, go and try to negotiate a contract. Now, if the member doesn't want to go, then we'll go down to the shop steward. If the shop steward don't want to go, then we'll go to the alternate. Nowhere in this process will we be picking people who, per se, likes us, don't like us, whatever. Everybody will be able to go. We just read it. We just read how we will do it and how we'll be put into the bylaws. So from every time we have a negotiation, whoever's in office, whoever, whether it's us, somehow, and I pray to God that it's not the people that's in there now, if they're still in there, they will have to abide by these rules as well, because we need people to be there, our eyes and our ears, because you see what happened at our current supplement negotiations. They made it a circus. They made it all about the jumbo vote, yes or no. The last four meetings was about the jumbo vote yes, the jumbo vote no. Then in the July's meeting,
6 out of 7.
6 out of 7 voted. Then the other meetings, everybody voted, and then our principal officer come with the pension thing and say, hey, if you don't vote yes the first time, and then according to jumbo, they didn't even go over that in the supplement negotiations. So if you didn't go over it in the supplement negotiations, you bring it to us in the month that the contract was set to expire, and then you say if you don't take it, you're going to have to pay part of your raise to your pension, full-time.
I just want to say that it's very important that in a situation like a pension, which is now giving you a 0.3 multiplier factor, right, thereabouts, times your current contribution rate, is not a proper investment for us to invest the dollars in. And the local executive board held people hostage about paying an extra little bit of money, really, honestly, little bit of money,
every
and
week,
saying how much they lost.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, these Article 22.4 employees, because they will not be paid through prevailing wage standards within this collective bargaining agreement, stand to lose significant amounts of money in excess of that, as long as they stay in that classification. And I targeted somewhere between $20,000 to $26,000 in the first 4 years, and $11,000 annually afterwards, not including any overtime.
Right.
So when they talk about losing money, let's talk about these people that you made losing money.
Right.
Let's talk about preserve and protecting the standards which you are obligated legally as your fiduciary duty to do under our bylaws. And why wasn't that accomplished? You know why it wasn't accomplished? Because when they go in the grievance process, they settle for less. So when they come to the table and they want to negotiate on your behalf, what are they going to do?
Settle for less.
Settle for less.
Yeah.
Crying about, oh, I need the pension contributions only. We currently have members who have less seniority who are making more than the seniority members. That's not right. It's wrong. People in California, they're going to start off at $15.80 an hour, are going to get each contractual raise every year and end over $19 an hour. I can't see how anybody's not upset about that.
Right.
Because if that happened to me, I'd be upset. That's another reason why I voted no. It's not just even about the pension contribution,
right,
which isn't giving me any kind of benefit. Let's be honest. If I get $4,000 a year, but UPS contributes over $700,000 on my behalf, it's a bad deal. No prudent investor would ever make that deal.
So he touched on 22-4s. 22-4s, it was an announcement, one of the hubs. They said at PCM, Drivers PCM, we got a surprise for you. They bought 15 22-4s around in Browns, right? And the manager said that they will be treated with respect and dignity. If not, we're going to have a problem. I think they said starting in November at 4:30 every day, the package car drivers, the 22-4s will be coming out to relieve the package car drivers at 4:30 p.m. They said there will be no more overtime for package car drivers. 8 hours. You'd be lucky to get 8 hours. You'd be lucky to get 40 hours a week. That's the problem. They said the only time you might get overtime is peak. Now that's bad.
Well, they can't do that now, can they? I mean, the contract is not official.
We don't know. Hold on. We don't know. You know what I mean? They saying it's they've ratified. They saying the contract is ratified. Then they saying they're gonna go back to the table. Which one is it? And then they said that the following week it's gonna be another 15. So, I mean, the senior guys, they can make it, but the new guys, they can't make it at 1875. And I went and took a survey of most of our drivers. Can you make it on 42 hours a week? They said no. They said no. So most of them going to have to go get a part-time job. This is bad. This is bad. You always be able to be a package car driver and make a decent living. No more.
Article 22-4s are not supposed to get made until 2019,
right?
August 1st. That's first. 2, inside our local, no employee is allowed to displace you from your job. So if you go out on a route and they choose to displace you from your work, right, by sending you home and having someone else finish up your route, that's wrong. It's a definite violation of collective bargaining. In our local. In the other local, maybe not, because they don't have that particular language. Who knows?
Well, hold on. You saying there's a violation in our local, right? Is the e-board going to stand up and fight for the members, fight for the drivers?
Well, let me say, when it comes to working on a daily basis, we all understand that seniority dictates that.
Right.
They've expanded the work week to 6 days a week and have picked and choose who they wanted to operate on the 6th day of the operation. No language is there to strengthen our position that seniority members should get that opportunity to work first. Protect our wage earning opportunities versus our seniority. For that matter, there's no language in there that when these part-timers who are going to average 40 some hours a week, between 30, let's say 35 and 45 hours a week, right? Non-peak time are not going to be considered full-time employees, making the appropriate full-time wages and pension contributions that they're crying about. There's at least 40 people or more within the local that probably have this particular situation. That's 40 jobs. That gives you the $6 million plus that you need over the course of the agreement that they're crying about. UPS just has to add more people. Nobody says that overtime is guaranteed. Matter of fact, if anything, if there is overtime, UPS should accordingly put in that guaranteed hours by the local to put more staffing on the street. That's why you're short people come Christmas time, and that's why everything's a mess.
So, you saying our e-board going to fight for the members, right? For the drivers, right? Okay, I'm a new package car driver. I hit my 30 day, I hit my 29th day. I got one more day. They tell the business agent, oh, well, we didn't do all the paperwork. We didn't have time to do all the paperwork. So if you don't let us keep them for another 2 weeks, we're going to disqualify them. And they let them do that. So what's up with that?
So you're telling me that they are now changing the terms and conditions of
And
employment
they've
by
done that a few
themselves.
They do that a lot.
They did it a few times.
And the BA go for it. Tell the driver, if you don't do another 2 weeks, they're going to disqualify you. So we agreed to it.
Are these employees that they are? So you're supposed to go on a training trip. That's what you're supposed to go on. Training trip, and the training trip should be the same trip every day, so it allows you to get the fundamental skills as a package car driver to do the job.
Right.
Because you can't have area knowledge of each individual area. It's just impossible. It's not going to happen. That's why UPS wants to put in the directions to each stop, because they know that no one can physically know the area. No one can know each area unless they've been there a while and they've
Right.
jumbled around and they kind of get it. But when your first 30 days, you're supposed to be in the same position every day, so you go out and you deliver, so you get the routine down and you understand what's going on. That is what the 30 days is for. That's what training trips are for. They're not just to go out and do whatever. They're supposed to be stable, right? UPS wants to just do whatever they want to do and take people off their bids and move them around because they feel this guy knows this or this guy knows
Right.
that. Listen, I got my bid, I do my job. You make the bottom guys go in and learn the routes as they do it, and you're going to have to suffer for a little bit because that's how it works.
Right. So you know what I mean? Right.
No one's going to know, the streets off the top of their head, especially when you get outside of the main part of Center City, where it's kind of easy. But like you go out to the Northeast, it's like the suburbs out
Right,
there.
right.
You go out to Southwest, it's a little more suburb out there. You go out to West Philly, it's a little different up there too. Like if you go in Delaware County, it's clearly way different because it's all suburbs out there.
Right.
It's not an easy up and down checkerboard system
Right.
like it is in the city.
Right.
Yeah, Expo. But we talking about the 30 days. I'm at my 30 days. I'm at my 30 days. If I got the job, I don't know. And the BA agrees to take another 2 weeks. That's not right. That's not right.
Here goes another one for you, Jumbo. I learned that there's a grievance out there for the air drivers down in Center City to get paid the appropriate air driver rate because they've been doing it for over 30 days working ground. I told this particular individual that I talked to, you guys are going about this the wrong way. If they did package work and they worked for 30 days,
That's
these
a
guys are
ground
now
job.
package
Car
drivers.
drivers, right.
And it's a package job.
Right.
And that should be bidded within the center, A. 2, the pension contributions should be
Right.
given back to the local and made whole for, right, along with the rate. And those jobs need to put up for bid.
Right.
Just so you understand, did they talk about this with you at the e-board meeting?
Nah.
So let me say, what business, do they even tell you about the grievances that are filed at the e-board meeting?
Don't tell me nothing.
Do they tell you about any impact that they actually filed a grievance at the e-board meeting?
Expo. If I come to the union hall and I have to go to the bathroom, I have to wait till they open the door. They won't even let me in the building.
All right, so here we go. This Friday, come pick me up and we'll go to the building, all right? We'll go there together and we'll make a little scene because I got a few things I want to look up in the records, but I can't drive too far. This is probably about as far as I can get today.
Yeah, you broke out. Yeah,
I'm broken down.
You broke it out, but yeah.
This is probably a lot for me.
Right.
Well, see, a lot of people, our e-board wants to keep everybody in the dark. They don't want to tell everybody what's going on. Just like they just had the women's conference. They just had the women's conference. How many people did we send to the women's conference?
0.
How many people did we send to the women's conference?
0.
Local 89, they send all these female shops to it every year. Why can't we send our female shops to it, to the women's conference? So they say if Joni don't want to go, Joni doesn't want to go, nobody else can go. Is that fair?
It's not fair.
No, it ain't.
They need to send a representative.
They do. They do. I think when it comes to those conferences and stuff like that, you should have at least one person from every local there. You know what I mean? Somebody should be there. That way they can bring back information and share with people on the shop floor. Hey, look, this is what I learned. This was a good experience.
Joni is the only female in local 623. That right?
No,
Another thing I want to talk about is this Dennis Taylor thing. And I wrote something up here. It's not 100% the way I would like it to be, but let's talk about it. All the officers of the union take an oath.
Right.
Sean O'Brien pointed that out, right?
Right.
He said that in the radio show on Saturday with Hector Force, okay? They have an honor to faithfully use all of their energies and abilities to perform their duties of office for the ensuing term as prescribed by the Constitution and bylaws of this union. Let's take a look at that. First of all, in our bylaws, Section 4, objects, A, 2, 1, yeah, 2. Let me get it right here for you. Right? Wait. talks about they need to preserve and protect the benefits that are obtained through collective bargaining. How does that happen when you actually created a classification that will pay less than the prescribed terms of our collective bargaining agreement under Article 54?
Right.
They've done it before with Article 22.3s, and now they're trying to do it again with the package car section. I don't know how anybody would vote for that. I wouldn't, because I'd be afraid, what am I going to be categorized? Because I could see you going into panel, a guy coming in and working on Saturday, and them telling people, hey, you're covering for Jimmy Smith. He's in Article 22.4 today, so we got to pay you the Article 22.4 rate, because that's his job and that's his designated bid. And that overtime that you're going to earn that day is going to be less.
Yes.
And that's what they'll tell you. That's wrong. That's false. The Fair Labor Standards Act says you have to earn the same overtime amount all week long that you're supposed to be entitled to, because of where our collective bargaining system is. But they'll tell you that, and people fall for that, and UPS will save money. It will be an issue of ethics for them, because we already know, as down at Oregon Avenue, they will threaten people if they request to get paid time and a half after 5. They've done it in the past. I'm pretty sure they're doing it again. They have part-time employees who have worked 30-plus days for full-time jobs, right? Being full-time seniority, but haven't given them full-time seniority, so they don't have to pay them the exact rate, not making the pension contributions down there. What are they really doing? Are they preserving and protecting the benefits that we obtain?
No.
Everybody understands that when you work 30 days within a center, that's how you gain a seniority.
Right.
And now you got people working 30 days in a full-time center in a full-time capacity, covering for full-timers, and they're not going after the new jobs. Bill Shanahan told me that he would not process my full-time job grievance, Jumbo, because I'm not the aggrieved employee. Only the part-timers are, because they're the ones that are affected by it. So if I was used, I would count up and grieve up and make them pay. Make them pay today.
But Espo, this I got a problem with that. Okay, he said he wouldn't, pursue it because you would agree. But what does it matter if my local's been shorted? Then I need to do what I need to do.
Correct. I am an aggrieved party, and I'll tell you why. Because I am an entity of this third-party group that they're representing.
Right.
And the terms and conditions of employment apply equally to the group.
Right.
And when the group gets shorted, therefore now it's shorts pension fund contributions to the pension, which our pension fund desperately needs to try to hopefully get it over the hump and back to a decent multiplier factor that we can be proud of, rather than this one that's stuck from 2004, which now, times the current contribution rate, is around 3.5, 3.3, something like that. I can look it up. I got it, at home. So my question becomes, if I can't grieve a violation of the contract, and it takes a certain person to, I don't think that's accurate. I think that any person is entitled to grieve a situation if they choose to.
Especially something like that.
Because,
that doesn't make any sense.
Because it's a group that is represented by the contract, not an individual.
Yeah.
And when you file a grievance, I didn't ask for them to give me their money. I asked for them to pay them.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Whole.
That's why I don't understand. And as a principal officer, you come to me with an issue that is going to, like you said, is going to affect the membership. Right. So pension contributions, full-time job. So as an official, you want more pension contributions and you want more full-time jobs.
Then there comes a bigger issue. Dues.
Yeah.
Okay? These Article 22.4 employees will pay less dues, yet they should be paying more dues money, a very insignificant amount for that matter, but more, because they are getting paid at a lower rate than they're supposed to in the calculation of those dues.
Right.
Okay? Now, also, we have guys that are brand new, part-timers down at the airport, and I want you to check on this on Friday, Jumbo. How do they calculate their dues rate? Since they're getting these attendance bonuses, right?
Yeah.
Does that be part of the way that they figure out their...
But wouldn't it be something if they are paying more dues because they're getting that bonus? Wouldn't that be something like a trade-off that we don't know about? Okay, listen, you can go ahead and give our members these bonuses. Just make sure we get more dues on the back end. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, I'm not saying that it's true, but wouldn't that be something? Because there's a grievance supposedly out there for the last 2 years that no one knows about.
Again, this grievance, which has already been lost 4 times according to Shanahan about these market rate adjustments, right, has been lost. So now he's going to go fight it again, right? So he's going to waste.
That's what he's
more money.
Let's go for what he says then.
That's what he's telling you.
That's it. So he's going to go fight
and waste more money
and waste money instead of fighting for grievances like this full-time job grievance, which has been won in the past down at Oregon Avenue, and fight that one where he's got a winner. Instead, he's going for the loser. It's about choices. It's
Wow.
about choices, right? The market rate adjustment system is a sham. The new hires don't come in and get the full contractual increases every year. It's a sham. It hurts people, it hurts members, and you're now seeing it even more so now because now you got a class of people that are going to have the same seniority date as part-timers, and some are going to make significantly more
Right.
than others, to the point where now everybody's got to know, well, what am I getting paid? Because other supplements have shot stuff down,
Right.
and if they get more, they look like idiots.
They're going to get more. They're going to all the locals that voted, all the supplements that went down. They're going to get more. They always get more. Just like 2013, did we get more?
Yeah.
According to Bill Shanahan, which I didn't even realize this was the reality, to tell you the truth, shame on me. The locals who voted no got a better health care package than the other locals who voted yes.
Right.
Yet they're
They made
paying
it
the
a little
same contribution together.
Right.
So now were we siphoning off of their contribution? Right? I
Right.
mean, that's really what the question becomes. You know, where is the money? And two,
Yeah. Where is it? Well, we all know where it's at now.
you know, where's the money at?
You know where it's at.
Because part-timers in this collective bargaining agreement got a 70-cent increase to their pensions, but not an increase to their accrual benefit,
Right.
which is a problem because now they're putting less money into the health care package for those particular employees. And in all honesty, they need the lowest cost health care that you can get because they're only working part-time and they're not making 30-something an hour because they're part-timers and they pay them less.
Yeah, man.
So how do you justify bringing this contract to the membership when you have a duty, an obligation to make sure that no local suffers an economic loss, that locals are supposed to mutually agree,
Right.
right? So that means everybody has to unanimously agree on this particular thing or it doesn't go,
Right.
right? So that means that Shanahan and Billy Morris both agreed to move forward
Yep.
and allow members to have economic losses for the benefit of the rest of the individual membership. Because it ain't coming out of their pocket.
Well,
every week.
you remember at those meetings, he said that he was okay with his contract. He agreed that his contract was
he's
good.
saying that he thought that this was the best
They
deal
could deal.
he
So
can get.
yeah, so I mean, he's on record saying that. So there's no, well, I didn't say this and all that. He said it. But getting back to this bonus, I don't know if you guys found out or whatever. Now I heard that they're going to continue the bonus through the rest of the year.
Indefinitely is what Brother Shanahan said.
Indefinitely.
Definitely is what he said.
So say if the contract
And
is
we will verify
ratified.
that come this Saturday coming up.
Yeah. So
So they're going to have to. It might be indefinite now because Amazon's paying 15. They get the people to come in the door. You know what I mean?
that's sad.
Listen,
Yeah,
here's
I'm
another
just
thing.
saying.
Anyone who currently receives a market rate adjustment now, and this is what I told Shanahan too over the phone, is going to get that market rate adjustment for the life of their career as a part-timer because they're in that classification. That's what the new language states.
Right.
They get to keep it. So this attendance bonus program stays with them for their entire career as a part-timer.
Man,
Entire career.
so they're going to be, I'm Jim. I just started last week, and I'm going to be there for 20 years. So Jim is going to get that bonus, from what you're saying, for 20 years.
So
Hold it, there's another thing. Because of that bonus, it now implicates how their overtime is calculated. Because that attendance
Right.
bonus could figure into their actual rate of pay that overtime is calculated from, their regular rate for the first 40 hours worked, whatever that rate may be, right?
Right.
Equals your time and a half after 40 hours.
Right.
And that attendance bonus is not overtime related, it's to your basic work week related. So therefore, that has to count towards your regular rate.
it's sad.
You get on that?
Oh my
It's
goodness.
really sad. Really sad.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it.
I have a lot of senior part-timers that come up to me and they say, John,
Mm.
I've been here 10 years. I come to work every day on time and I don't miss no days. How come I can't get the $100? What do you tell them?
Get mobilized,
Yeah.
get vocal,
Yes.
tell people how you feel cheated. Make sure they understand that they can get cheated too. Voice that opinion as clearly as you can to every member in the local you can talk to. who you vote for in the next election is irrelevant. But what you need to do is not vote for people that will allow UPS
to keep
to
doing the
let
same.
you make
Right,
less.
right. Yeah, that's what you can't
You
do.
know that they're going to victimize people because, as they like to say, don't want to get involved.
Right.
Don't want to be organized together. Don't want to put themselves out there because they fear retaliation by
Right.
either UPS
Or the people in office,
union,
right.
because the process takes a while or takes long. I still have grievances outstanding. I email Rob Warren be the thing. Think I've heard back from him?
No.
So, I'm not trying to be mean. I don't try to hassle him about it because I feel he's a grown individual and he should be able to account for himself.
Right.
And when I go talk to Shanahan about it, he will address it with Brother Warrenby. He does address it. I'll give him credit for that. The question is now I got to go chase him down, and then what? Is Rob going to get mad because I chased him down because he didn't get back with me and make me look like try to make me look like I'm being a jerk to him?
Right.
It's not the case.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah, well, we only have an hour, so it's 41. We got a lot of problems. 623 got a lot of problems. So I know Terry Lewis is listening to us. Good morning, Terry. So she stopped me last night. She had a family member, 16 years he been here. And they saying, John, what's the process with getting a full-time job? She said, John, people show up, they sound full-time now. They ain't been here 5 years. They ain't been here 6 years, right? I explained to Terry, most locals on their website, they put up, Richard Hooker got this job, the seniority is 2,000. You got 2 weeks to challenge it. We pay our e-board to do the same thing. They refuse to do it. They won't tell you your seniority date. They won't tell you nothing. They walk around with this book and you say, what's my seniority date? Oh, I got to check. What do you mean you got to check? But what happened is the right thing to do, to put Richard Hooker name up there for 2,000 and you got 2 weeks to challenge it. How are you going to challenge it if you don't know who had the job?
Right. I agree. Yeah, there's no record to show. Like they still have old seniority lists up there at the building. I think Sister Marguerite, they still got her as part-time. And she's been full-time for years now. You know what I mean?
And then when you say, when we going to get a seniority list, current seniority list, they said HR is supposed to do it. HR said they supposed to do it. Well, we paying their salary, they should do it. It's a real sad situation.
First of all, I don't care which department that is responsible for it. In all, they're all UPS. And
Yeah.
UPS as a whole, as the employer, is responsible to post it per Article 50, Section 1. It's the real preamble right there. Every 3 months, it's supposed to get updated, the thing. And what George told me at the meeting, when I had to hassle him at a meeting about getting the ones updated down at Oregon Avenue, right? But they get fired so much time. There's so much turnover. It's just it's like a waste of time. It's like, first of all, from my understanding, it's 5 minutes for them to go print out the list. Anybody who wants to go and verify and check their seniority
That's on them.
can go do that for themselves.
Right.
That is their responsibility to go check it out and file a grievance accordingly. All they got to do is post a list. I don't care what they do. But believe me, if I look at it and they post the wrong date and I got an earlier date, I might file and say, it stands as correct.
Right.
That's my new date, bro.
Right.
Give me the credit I deserve.
Right.
I had another full-timer come up to me last night. He said, John, I put a grievance in, John. Put a grievance in for 3 hours for supervisor working. He said, John, the shop steward told me they got me an hour. The shop steward said, I got to take what they give me. He said, what are you talking about? He said, listen, we got to make this deal because we might have to get somebody back who was fired. He said, what that has to do with me?
That's about preserving and protecting the benefits for each individual member. If they came to me and told me that they need something to help another guy out, I might do that. I think I would, because I've done it in the past. But they got to come to me.
Right.
Just don't do it on their own.
Right.
Because now,
Right.
you're trying to look the hero off of my back when I put myself out there
Right.
because I was involved.
Right.
I was active.
Well,
I made sure that I filed a grievance against the company for violations, so you know about it.
Right.
And then you're supposed to get me the due process that it deserves.
Right.
Right.
Oh man.
And the proper monetary recognition that it deserves for that infraction.
well, this member was very upset. He said, jump, they got to go. I'm like, what you say? He said, jump, they got to go. And I mean, I think he was a unity guy, and he was very, very upset. For certain people, it takes a lot for them to man up and put a grievance in. And when they put it in and they get treated like this, I said, listen, I had the guts or the balls to put it in.
Right, and then you sold
know
me
what I'm
out.
saying?
Short me.
So they like, yo,
Right.
What's the deal? So, like I said, we got this election coming up in 2019, November, right? So what happened is, question to the members: why won't you vote for Richard Hooker for Secretary of Treasury? You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, John, we know what we got, we know what we have, right?" I'm like, listen, Richard Hooker is qualified. Richard Hooker Jr. is qualified. I mean, what is the problem? Why won't y'all vote for him? You know what I mean? So what happened is you put Richard Hooker in there for 36 months. If he doesn't do the job,
Yeah, vote us out.
vote him out.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, put my slate in there. If we don't do the job, I ain't running no more. But you got to give us a shot. You can't keep saying, "Oh, John Shanahan." Listen, now like I tell everybody, Shanahan is good with the contract. He knows the contract. They say he's the pension guru. He's the pension guru, but we cried for $6 million from UPS. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He knows the contract. He knows something about the pension, but he doesn't have any balls. And UPS takes advantage of him. He's weak. He's weak, right? What happened is, if you had 6 people that was around you and you was weak, they can carry you. But all of them weak. Billy Mars, he's at the Phillies game in Toronto. He don't care about us. What did he say in 2013? It is what it is. You guys got to come to the
silver spoon.
You guys
Stop living in Disneyland.
Disneyland. You walk up to him, he got his hand in his palm. "Yo, Billy Mars, I got a problem." He like, "What do you want me to do?"
You said it right. What good is it that a person knows the contract if they're not willing to
Enforce
the
it. Right.
contract?
Right.
In other words, it's an act of fraud, and that's a big thing here we want to put out here. When people pay dues, they are paying dues as part of a contract with the local, in accordance to their bylaws, to get certain protections that they are supposed to receive. The processing of their grievances, the preservation and protection of the benefits, for them to secure improved wages,
Right.
and maintain the status quo at best, as best they can. Maybe not every year you might get a raise because maybe there's an issue or something going on, right?
Right.
But your healthcare standards stay the same, right? Other people aren't getting shorted in the system like we have now with the part-timers, like the Article 22 4s that they bring into this local.
Right.
So what? Again, I ask you, what good is it to give somebody a promise and not deliver on the promise?
Right.
If other people made promises to you, right, and you have a contract with them about these promises, which is what we have. We have a contract. It's called our bylaws. They promise us to do certain things, and they don't live up to them. They have violated their fiduciary duties under the Labor Management Relations Act of 1959, which states that they have to follow the bylaws and the Constitution.
Right.
And that here is a big point.
So we had a major situation with non-union people that's working in there now. We had a lot of problems with them. Called Ocean. Everybody called Ocean. And I guess Ocean's in bed with UPS. They never showed up. So we had a real situation. And it was time for Shanahan to man up. He was crying. "What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" And he was told, "Man up. Honor the contract. Whatever go down, go down." He like, "Are you going to back me? Are you going to back me?" He weak. He weak. We had a major problem. And it was getting ready to get ugly, right? He didn't know what to do. He was scared. He really was scared.
So he's more worried about whether people follow him than doing what his duties and
Right.
responsibilities
Right.
are. The way you get people to follow you is you earn the respect
Right.
by
Right.
doing
What
the
you're
right
supposed to
thing.
do, right.
Right? Say, listen, I got this. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to put it out there what happened. And by the time I'm done, you're going to see that I did my job. If I lose it, I lose it. But here I think we got a winner.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Not everybody's perfect. People do
Right.
make mistakes.
Right.
Things
Right.
happen.
Right.
But as long as you're out there fighting for it,
People will respect you fighting.
respect you.
Yeah, you mean you may not come out on top, but if I'm fighting for you and I see you fighting for me, that this guy got my respect. I know when the chips are down, he's gonna fight for me. Just like look what happened at with this whole IBT thing with him. He will not say anything against the IBT.
Right.
He will not speak up
Right.
against them at all. He's whatever Hoffa says,
Yeah.
no matter what it does to the membership, he will not speak out against it. And that is a big
Never
problem.
did. He never did.
That is a really big
I
problem.
would say that he has an obligation to. Our bylaws, if his obligation is preserve and protect our benefits, right? He's supposed to notify the IBT or the Constitution
Right.
of any kind of thing where our members are going to lose that economic loss. He's supposed to notify them, right?
Well, but the thing about it is, as for the IBT is the one that's allowing this to happen. So it's not like they don't know. They do know.
Listen,
They
if
know.
Dennis Terra knows each individual contract and supplement, I'd be amazed.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think anybody here does.
No.
But you need a team to coordinate that particular effort together.
Right.
That's why you have a national negotiating committee.
Right.
Everybody sit there supposed to identify the concerns, identify the losses, bring it to his attention, so he can say, wait, hold it, we can't go for that because it violates our bylaws and constitution. This is not a deal we want to bring to the membership.
Yeah.
If we want to be consistent
With the bylaws.
with their bylaws and the constitution.
Right.
We want to make sure we uphold the highest of standards.
Right.
Not anything that's inferior, because
Right.
when you make inferior people, you make people unhappy. They know or feel that they got cheated. And that's not what we're here for. We're not here to make people feel cheated.
Right.
We're here to make people
Improve.
feel they have value and
Right.
worth in their leadership. And I think also, too, with this bylaw change, what we're trying to do with this bylaw change, by having people step up, get to the negotiating committee, is develop the leaders of the future.
Right.
To keep the boots on the ground with UPS, so everybody understands, hey, this is what it takes to get the job done.
That's right.
Everybody's got to do their little part to make it happen.
Right.
It can't just be a small group of guys.
Right.
I hate to say this when Billy Morris, says something, we need the boots on the ground. Here's where we need the boots on the ground. We need people vocal, talking about
Right.
what goes on. Stay involved in your work area. Identify those full-time jobs. File for them. If you need help filing a grievance,
You know where we at.
484-343-6755. I got it written up. I've gave it to a couple people. I'll write it up again. I will gladly do it. Anytime, I'll put it on a paper and type it out. And you guys can...
We'll post it up on our page and you can see it.
And before we go, been a lot of complaints about Izzy Gray. He said, listen, people have came up to me, they said, listen, John, I take the time to come to Union Hall on Saturday. I could be with my family doing things, right? They said, John, we don't want to hear Izzy Gray stand up 20, 30 minutes about TNBC. Make it 5 minutes. Make it 5 minutes to talk to the people afterwards, right? They said, John, every meeting, they said, John, that's 20 minutes or 30 minutes I can spend with my family. You know what I mean? They're saying, why, why he got to open the meeting up, yada, yada, yada. We want to know about our livelihood. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a problem with TNBC, right? But he's not our mixing. You know what I mean? Never will be. That's what we think he is, right? But the people are really complaining about that.
I think that the focus of the union meeting should be about what UPS is doing,
Right.
the violations that are occurring, so the people who are active and involved and take the time to come to the meeting, talk to the people around them, get the information from the supervisors, and return that information to the executive board. If they're not doing that, they're not helping us out. They're not helping them out, they're not going to help us out.
Yeah, man.
That's the point. The TNBC could be a post. If Izzy wants to go promote that in his spare time, let him go stand out front of the gates and hand something out.
Right.
All the African American individuals I see come off the bus, how many times see Izzy over there trying to get them or recruit them in to the TNBC? When you want to promote future leadership and you want to promote involvement, you got to get the people that are most disinterested and dissatisfied,
Yes.
and just coming in,
You have to
punch
get
in
with
and
them.
punch out in the clock.
You got to go down to where people are and then explain to them what's going on. You just can't, like you said, take the whole time and all that kind of stuff. I see what you're saying, but you got to be more intimate with the people if you want them to join.
Listen, I have a lot of respect for him for some of the stuff that he knows.
What happened is, the problem is he great? If he doesn't get paid, he's not going to do anything. Local 249, Pittsburgh, Pizzo, Gary Pizzo local. They want him to come out there, right? He says he ain't going out there unless he pay their way, unless they pay his way, which is sad. You understand what I'm saying? You trying to promote unity and try and get something on the record legit, but you saying you ain't going unless you get paid. They got to pay your way. Are you really for TNBC or are you about yourself? You know what I mean? That's sad. Anytime a local wants you to come out there and try and start a chapter out there and you say they got to pay your way. Well, like I said, if the union didn't pay for him to go to these places, he would never go. And that's sad.
Well, hey, like we was talking about earlier, 2019 is not that far away. We got about a year's time. You guys know what at stake. You guys know what we've been trying to do, what we have been doing. But it's going to take the members to participate. I know a lot of people say, hey, well, members don't vote, and you're correct. People are just not going to vote. I never forget in 2016 when we ran the first time, They said I had a feeder driver come up to me and say, "Hooker, you guys were at the gates. You was at the everywhere. We went everywhere, and people still couldn't vote. Well, wouldn't vote. What can you do? We're gonna keep doing that, bending the gates and doing that. But we understand that people are not going to vote. So what we have to do now is focus on the people that do vote and show them why they should change how they're voting. You see what just happened? They took your voice away. You see what our local e-board has done over the last few years. They have done absolutely nothing. They have allowed the RBT to do whatever, don't speak up for you. They won't go to any, look at the convention. Fred put a post out there about, I think it was about a couple weeks ago, showing how in 2016, we tried to change the Constitution back then so this wouldn't happen now. And people laughed at us. Oh man, that's what y'all get for going out there. Everybody knows what the e-board did to us, what they tried to do to us. They didn't want to pay for the rooms and the travel. We had to go through so much stuff. They tried to sabotage everything we did to get out there. It didn't work. And then when we get out there, we couldn't get the change because we didn't have enough people. And of course, what our e-board did. They didn't even want to go because they are afraid to stand up for you guys. And you guys see it. So that's why I keep telling you, you got to look past your loyalty to them and look at your responsibility to your brother and your sister, to your family, and to the Teamsters Union. The people in these offices do not value you. They value your dues and your pensions, but they don't value you as a member. That's why Dennis Taylor and the HIFA and our local e-board are willing to go ahead and give you this contract, regardless of what you say, because they don't value you as a person. Not just a Teamster, they don't value you as a person. Because when a person or when a group of people take your voice away from you, they don't value you as a person. All right, yeah, call 202-624-6800. That's the RBT, and tell them to respect your vote. Your vote is your voice, and your voice is your vote. You have to. We got to get more involved. You got to get more involved.
Can you elaborate on the construction going down at PHL and the automation that they're implementing?
Well, what they're doing, I think a couple years ago or last year, they started building the SLS over in the north side. They completed that. Now they're doing one on the south side, but now they're trying to extend it all the way out to the secondaries. They got construction everywhere. I mean, while we working, you can barely hear what's going on. So people have complained and called OSHA to try to get some remedy to what's going on, because we're trying to work. A few accidents almost happened. You know what I mean? But it's like, we try to get the union involved. They're not going to do anything.
I would say this: if you feel as though your hearing is being compromised, call OSHA. Tell them that you need a hearing test done inside the facility, because, as I know from working on a ramp, 85 decibels UPS has to provide hearing protection.
Right.
And when the issue came up, I talked over to Joe McGovern and said, listen, you know that. Go and get the earplugs. Tell them where the earplugs are at. Don't let Nicole Strickland go and say, and give you hassle you.
Yeah.
Listen, go get the earplugs. They're inside the building. It ain't like they don't got them. Go in and get them. Say, we got an issue here. The building's kind of loud.
Right.
So, 623 Lives Matter, we went out and got our own hearing protection. If you want hearing protection, Reggie. See Reggie and Air Regs. Reggie and Air Regs has all the hearing protection you want. Nicole has protection, but she said that she had to make sure that that UPS would let her give them out. But once again, if you need hearing protection, Richard Hooker Jr., 623 hashtag 623 Lives Matter, we have provided hearing aids for preload. Once again, you see Reggie rides around, he had a bag full of hearing aids. Well, with your union, the union should have provided them, but I think Shanahan don't want to spend the money.
Nah, well, what they should do, right? UPS, yeah, UPS,
and the union should be calling OSHA immediately over this topic and issue with this construction here on our behalf. If you have people complaining about this particular issue, Jumbo, they need to step up to the plate and get OSHA down there.
Yeah, but you can't keep saying UPS. What is the union doing? The union is not doing anything. Just like they said they ran out of water. All right. The union should have been at the gate giving water out. Come on now. You can say what you want to say about UPS, but the union is supposed to step in and take care of their people. It's been hot as hell out there days, and they won't do it. But they will take Harry Brown off the job for 30 days and let him stand at the gates and campaign for Wolf. You understand what I'm saying? And we're paying his salary. You know what I mean? What's more important, Wolf or water or hearing protection?
He said,
Wow.
Wolf.
Is that going on right now? He's off for 30 days?
You said,
30 days.
Wolf. Well, they did that for 4 years ago when we was with them. It was me, Clarence, Bagby, and Harry Brown. I think it was a couple of BAs too. They took us off the job when we went to different sites, helping campaign for Wolf and trying to get him elected.
Instead of taking other members that aren't shop stewards, that aren't alternates, that are obviously necessary to watch what's going on in the operation, and trying to get people to promote future leaders within the local, right? To help organize with these newer people, to find those personality types that are willing to fight UPS, to go and help promote UPS, that can project themselves well.
Right.
Right? That's who we should be trying to get into these spots. and
But
positions.
that's the thing, Espo. As long as you are against them, they're not going to help you. If you are with them, they're going to. Let me give you an example. And not too many people know this. And I'm not going to call no names, but when this person hears it, they're going to know what I'm talking about. And I want them to remember this when I say this. The TNBC was throwing a class for organizing, right? Now this was around the time where it was right before the election, before the 2016 election. No, this was right after the contract gets passed in 2013. Around 2014, 2015, somewhere around there, right? The TNBC had its organizing class at our local, right? Now, one of our e-board members came around and asked me, and a couple of other people, where do we want to go? But his first question was, are you guys still with us? That's how he put it to us. And we was like, oh man, and we hear a lot of stuff. Yeah, we still with you guys. We still with you guys. Okay, we had to make sure before we offer you this class. We went to the class and they were saying it was just for shop stewards. Couldn't find out anybody could have went. So we brought this other member with us. And I said that to say this. They're not going to offer you anything or show you anything or teach you anything unless you're with them. It happened. They did it. Me and Clarence talk about this from time to time, and we still can't believe it. If you are not with them, they will not help you. That's not leadership. I don't care if you're with me or not. If I'm in the office of leadership and my job is to protect you, I don't care if you voted for me. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't like the way I look. I'm going to fight tooth and nail for you because, like you said, Espo, it's in our bylaws. I have to. Yeah. I'm obligated to. You pay me to do so.
So they got a class October. The training, if you want to be.
Yeah, this week right here. Okay. I was trying to go to.
Yo, when we told the Joint Council President that we wanted to go and we was going to pay our own way. Joint Council President said he had to get with them. Never got back.
Yeah, we got you, Galen. I got you.
What happened is they would never pay for us to go, but they never got back with us, and that's sad.
Wow, when is this class?
It was this week.
And
the class was going on.
Right now?
Right. And we did what we were supposed to do. And this is how it's supposed to work. If you wanted to go to this class, you had to get your principal officer had to okay for you to go. I knew Shanahan was going to let me go. So we called our Joint Council President, and I called the IBT and said, hey, look, I want to go to the class. This is what I want to do. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I said, well, what about if I get my Joint Council President to let me go? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Reached out.
He said that he had to get with the principal officer.
Right. So we knew after that there wasn't, and no discredit to him or nothing. I understand it's all political, and I get all that. But if you're not with the powers that be,
right?
They when I even had a member tell me, and I want this member when he listened to this to remember what he told me. I'm not gonna call his name out. They told me that around when we ran in 2016, that one of our people on our e-board went up to this member and said, I will never help Richard Hooker again. I will never do anything for Richard Hooker. but they want us to work with them. They want us to do whatever. Now, we're going to work with the members. We're always going to protect the members. But tell me, how am I supposed to take that? Listen, this is not personal. This is nothing to do with it. I still loved it. And check this out. Even after the member told me this, I said, I want you to go back and tell this person that I love them and I'm still praying for them. And whatever they need me to do, I still would do it. Because that's not how leadership is supposed to be.
I stood at the gate. Days and nights with the shop steward. Help him get elected. It was impossible to get him elected. And I don't know what he's doing now, but I look like he with them. He won't even wear our shirts. It's sad. Day and night we stood at the gate, hand in hand. I stood there, we sat there, we counted the ballots, we killed them, right? Now, he's not with us. He said he won't wear our shirts or nothing like that, right? I mean, we ain't mad. We still talk to him, this and that, right? But it's sad. We stood at the gates. A lot of us stood at the gate. Wore banners for him, right? We campaigned like a mug. Now he say with them. I don't understand. You know what I mean? And me, myself, right? Look, I don't care, but I'm putting it out there. You understand what I'm saying?
Just remember, we have to include everybody.
Right, everybody.
You don't want to disclude somebody because you might need them later.
Right.
Help support to preserve and protect the standards that we obtain through collective bargaining.
Right, and I think
that's really the mission.
And I think people understand about our team. You know, they can see the inclusion factor, not exclusion like these guys do. They know that we don't care who you are, where you're from. We try to include it. That's why the bylaw was written as it was written. Because, you know, some people will say, oh, man, those guys are only going to do this for the people that they like. Or we like everybody. We love everybody. We don't care if you vote for us or not. We're here to fight for everybody. That's why when we read the bylaws, that's why they were written that way. So you couldn't say, oh, we're going to get Jumbo because Jumbo worked. No, we're going to get the person in that area, the most senior person who wants to do it, and then we'll go down. That's how it's supposed to be done. We're not here to try to, you know, make friends or make enemies. We're here to protect and preserve the members here at 623. That's what we're here to do.
And like with the vote no, somebody put up on Facebook that no vote no shirts down Oregon Avenue. I bought between 40 and 50 shirts and hoodies for drivers, right? They wouldn't wear them. They were scared to wear them. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? If we shirts given out down Oregon Avenue, they wouldn't wear them. So, I don't know.
Got anything?
No.
No? All right, again, hey, look. This is how the petition is going to look. I'm going to show it to you guys real quick. It's going to look something like this here. At the top, it's going to have amend the bylaws at Teamsters Local 623. I'm going to read it again for you guys that just came on or people that just joined us late. This is how the bylaws is going to read. Now, again, in January, all right, this is when we're going to have to make this change because it has to be the first meeting of the year, which is in January, right? And on the third month, that's when we have our vote, which will be March. We got to give time for Shanahan to, you know, to go through the names that sign a petition and make sure that they're in good standing. But this is how they read, all right? 12 months prior to the expiration of the collective bargaining agreement, the union shall hold a meeting to elect a committee that contains the amendment from every center. Again, from every center. Not the people that voted for 623 Lives Matter, or the people that voted for Unity, or the people that vote for any other slate that runs, or the people that we feel, or whatever. No, from every center. Every center. If no member elects to be nominated, then the shop steward or designated alternate shall be appointed. Not the people that we want to appoint or whatever, but the shop steward that you guys elect and the elected alternate that they pick. Not the people that we pick, the people that you pick. This entire committee will meet as needed to conduct any tasks required for the process of negotiations. These tasks include, but not limited to, ratification, reviewing amendments to the agreement, or attending any meeting deemed a necessary part of the negotiations. If the committee is required to travel, the most senior member of the classification will be offered to attend. All lost time, wages, and travel will be paid by the local. All right? The committee will elect a chairperson and recording secretary to preside over and record the minutes of the meetings. At said meeting, the committee will review the final draft of the contract and vote on whether it will be put out for general membership for vote. It is understood that the bargaining demands of the local union may be adopted, modified, or rejected by the overall negotiating committee in accordance with such rules and procedures as may be adopted by the area-wide, conference-wide, or bargaining group. All right, so again, we're going to be out there getting these petitions signed. We need you to participate in this. We don't need you to be silent on this, because your silence is going to lead to consent for the, number one, these guys to stay in office. Number two,
not to do the right thing.
Right. And number two, for the bylaws not to get changed. You guys see it. You guys see it. What happened when you have the same bylaws year after year after year? We need changes. You see what happened in this local. They made it about jumbo, where they voted yes or no. Not about why the pension was short, $6 million, or why we couldn't get more things done in the supplement. It was all about whether or not jumbo voted yes or no. And that's a problem.
I'm not worried about how they voted.
Right.
I'm worried about the details.
Right.
And the facts that I need to make a decision
and that's
about what's going on.
Right. And that's why we had to get these bylaws, because you see on a national level and on the local level what just happened. So in 2019, you guys need to vote. Listen, you see what happened. If this don't wake you up, we're trying to get the people who do vote to change how they're voting. And if we can bring some other people to vote, that'll be good too. But you gotta wake up. You can't let this loyalty make you delusional of what's going on. You can't do that. All right, time out for that. We can complain. We can talk about what these guys are doing. Now it's time to go in. We got 1 year to do it. Now for the international part, we gotta get all those guys out. Every last one of those guys hate. What was it? Hartford, Taylor, Hall. Listen, those guys gotta go. But we gotta get the delegates to get to the convention to change these constitution. We tried it in 2016. We went there from this local, not our leaders. 623 Lives Matter went, and we did what we had to do to get there, right? We didn't have enough people to get the laws changed. Now, from every local across this country, you got to get delegates there to change the Constitution. You have to. That's the only way this is ever going to change. Labor Notes did a video call last night, and they was talking about it. They had a lot of people from across the country talking about what needs to be done. The issue is, like they were saying, you got to get people to that convention, change the Constitution, get more leadership, better leadership, and in these locals around the country that's coming up for elections, get these guys out of office. There's nothing to talk about, nothing to complain about. If you're not willing to get these guys out of office, don't complain about UPS anymore. Don't complain about what they do at all, because UPS was willing to go back to the table. They came out with a news press, hey, look, we're going back to the table. It was our own people that sold us out.
First of all, I want to reiterate this fact. In order for the agreement to be approved, it has to be UPS's final offer.
I know.
At no time did the national or local negotiating committee say it was the last and final offer from UPS. Dennis Taylor knows that. That's why he said, and probably, misspoke himself from the first one, that he needed to go back to the table to fix some issues. So it has to be a last and final offer.
Right.
UPS has openly said they're willing to go back to the table to make adjustments because they realize that they don't want an unhappy workforce, especially coming into Christmas time, because they're already having enough problems keeping people.
Right.
Their managers are tired of the turnover.
Right.
They need stability in their workforce because they want to have stability in their workforce, because a stable workforce is a better service provider workforce.
Right. Right. I agree. Again, like he just said, we got to get these guys out of office. We got to get them out. All right, so we're going to get out of here. We're going to turn it over to the Poor People's Economic and Human Rights Campaign. Say a prayer for our sister Sherry as he's still recovering from being in the hospital. We miss you, Sherry. We love you. Thank you for all that you've done. I told you she's been fighting longer than I've been alive. Again, we got to get these guys out. Be on the lookout to sign these petitions, man. If you guys really are tired of what's going on, put your name on the paper. And let's vote these guys out come next October, next November. All right, God bless. We love y'all. Peace out. 623 Lives Matter.